Today I'm going to show you how you can spice up your playing by adding the interval of a 6 into major and minor chord. When we're talking about major chords, the first step is to pick the key you're going to do and apply those intervals. The interval of a 6 has a very optimistic and very nostalgic feel to it, and I think that will add lots of beautiful color to your playing. What we're gonna do is, first of all, we're gonna pick a key, and to keep things simple, we're gonna pick C major. And I'm gonna play C major on one string here as my warm-up. Now, playing scales on one string is a great way to start visualizing a scale you might not feel familiarized with. If you don't know the C major scale, well, I think it's time to go over that, right? Well, basically, it's just the note of the C major scale. They have no flats and no sharps. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna come up with this interval of a 6, which means 6 notes apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're gonna start moving those around. So our next station is gonna be B and G, right? The awareness of the notes is very important while you're doing that. Already it sounds musical. It's just one of those intervals that instantly sound very musical. Then we have D and B, E and C, F and D, G and E. Okay, let's play that slow. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to associate that with different chords of the C major scale. So if I'm in C major, I can see already that I have the interval of a 6 right here within the chord, right? Within this specific chord. And maybe now I can start sliding, right, into the different 6. Now this is on these strings, on D and B. So if you don't know that, you need to also go over the D strings. But you can also do that on the strings that we started with, like this G and E strings. They're also already in the chord, you see? This G and E is an interval of a 6, and you can start moving. Okay, sounds kind of musical, right? Now you can start also kind of skipping around, like maybe playing this interval of a 6 and then going to C major and then back to this D minor 1. You're creating kind of like a motive, right? And then go up and do the same thing on the next set. But you're always thinking about C major in the background, right? Now if you're in A minor, it's still the same key, so you can still use the same sequence, but you're striving to land on different chord tones now because the whole gravitation of the chord has changed, right? Just feels very different. Now, if that's easy for you and you're like, Daniel, why are you showing me this is kind of easy? Well, for some people it's not very easy because it has to do with being able to visualize. It's not very hard technically, but just being able to visualize the key. If it's easy for you, start adding little characters to each one of these 6, right? For example, let's see, something like, now I associated the interval of a 7th to an interval of a 6. Now that's kind of interesting. And now I create a sequence that has 2 sets of intervals. A 7th apart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a 6 apart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I can start moving those. Now I'm feeling like adding this kind of like scale motion. Right? Maybe now that can be my new sequence that I can develop. You see, now I played also the interval of a 7th into a 6th. So now I have... And that's how you can start getting into more and more sophisticated sequences. I mean, this was an ABC sequence, I guess. There's like A, which is like the interval of a 7, and then I played a scale going up. That's like B, the B part, and then I landed. So, yes. Now I can also start introducing elements that are outside of the key. So you see, all of a sudden I started with something very simple, and it became something a little more advanced that people ask like, oh, what's going on there? For example, I can start adding chromatic notes. Just like by sliding back and forth, or maybe playing my scale and introducing some notes outside of the key, like this A sharp and this. That's how those start happening. You can never really plan the unplanned. But just working on these simple intervals of 6 will already give a new vibe to your playing. Like anything we learn on the instrument, I believe that it's practicing simple, well, it's not really simple, but simple concepts that you can take them a very long way. For example, triads, or arpeggios, or different voicings, or voice leading, or motive development, and how to add chromatics, and so many things that you can check out with my step-by-step course in my website, weissguitar.com. You can check that in the link in the description of this video. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.